Dear hosts, we're back with another episode here at the Hosting Journey, where we talk all about Airbnb and short-term rentals. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about communications because it is imperative for you to have the right emails sent to your guests at the right time so that you could get reviews where they say, oh my God, excellent communications. It is one of the things that you are reviewed on. And you have to have all of that written before you get your first guest in. Setting up those emails for your guests when they arrive, because it's what I just had to do with my brand new listing in Georgia. So I want to talk about the emails to send, how to set them up on Airbnb, and how to set them up on iGMS, which is the property management platform that I use for my listings. Let's talk about that. So you got an inquiry, better yet, you got a booking. Now, did you send them an email saying thank you for the booking? Or did the guest got nothing? Was it crickets? Let me tell you exactly what you have to say on your first email. So this is once your guest books, right? Because sometimes if you have instant booking, you just get that booking and you're like, yeah, thank you. So what does automatically get sent out to your guests? And I'm going to tell you what I sent on my email because you don't want to overwhelm the guests, but you want to welcome and thank them. So on my email to my guests, I send them, first of all, thank you for your reservation. Now, because my HOA requests the names of guests over 16 years old, of all the guests, I make that request immediately on that first email. So then my next line, my next paragraph is, please note, my HOA request is, and can you please send it to me? And I give them a specific amount of time. So I give them 48 hours from that email. Because then if they take a little longer, I could tap them again. I don't leave it open-ended. Okay. So if you have any requests, like let's say they need to sign paperwork, they need to give you information, ask in that first email that you sent after they book, but also give them a time limitation because if not, they're going to think like, oh, I could send this the day before I arrive. That's one tip. I also let them know and remind them that check-in information. So check-in is at. So, and I let them know also that I will provide them with arrival information at a later time. And one of the reasons why I don't give neither the address nor arrival information this early is just in case they cancel. I don't want them to have code. I don't want them to have an address. And I've been doing that for always. Because if they cancel, they have 48 hours to cancel that booking. I don't want them to have that information. So I let them know the check-in time, but I also let them know that I'm going to provide that information later on. I also request email addresses. And one of the reasons for this is that just in case anything happens with that booking, just in case anything happens with my account, I will have that information. And not everybody gives it to me, and I'm okay with that. I've talked about that before. I'm okay with them not giving me that information, but I like to request it. If once they give me that email address, I go and put it in another document and not leave it on the platform because Airbnb will block that information after your guest checks out. Yes, after your guest checks out, Airbnb will block any emails and any links and any kind of information where your guests can communicate with you directly. So what I do is I take it out of the platform and I put it on my own spreadsheet. And then I let them know that for their comfort, what I provide in the house. It's just a little reminder. Yes, they probably read it on the listing, but this is just so they know. Because look, if you don't provide sheets or towels, there's some hosts that do not, depends on their listing. You should give them that heads up for them to know like, oh, I need to remember to bring this. And you are going to remind them also in the next email as well, right before arrival. So that's my first email right after they book and they get it immediately. And now I use iGMS for automation. And if you want to find out more about iGMS, go thehostingjourney.com/iGMS. Now, my second email is right before arrival. And I send it about 3 days before arrival. And in it, I give them the name of the listing. I give them the address because sometimes it's a little hard to find that address in the platform. I also let them know the number of guests that are coming or the number of guests they booked for. And one of the reasons for that is just in case they have more people coming, more people got added, if I have guest limitations, if I charge, and one of my listings, I used to charge per guest. So I want them to know like, oh, this is the number of people you booked. I also provide, again, check-in information. This is when I then provide all my arrival information. I also let them know the instructions on how to open up the lock. So not just the details, but also any information like, hey, this is how you do it. I even have a little YouTube video showing them, and I give them a link so that they could go view it. And I let them know about any HOA restrictions because one of the things that they have to get if they want our passes. I give them driving instructions. And I also, in both emails, the first one and this one, I give them links to my social media accounts for my listings. So that is right before arrival. And I give it to them 3 days before. I do know of hosts that do not give check-in information on the day of arrival. But I always think that as a guest, you want to have that information before. You don't want to get that just the day of arrival. What about if your phone is not working? What about if the Wi-Fi is not working? And I know of a host that forgot to send it. So I have all of this automated. I did it once and I don't have to think about it again. Okay. And I'm going to teach you how to do that in a minute. After that, after the guest checks in, the next day in the morning, at 8 in the morning, they get hey, I hope you had a good night. Do you have any questions? I hope you looked at the house manual with all the information. So that's my next email that they get. And then the one right before checkout. The day before checkout, they get you are leaving tomorrow. These are the instructions. And I just give them the big details, like what to do with the trash, what to do with the sheets, because I tell them, you're still on vacation. No need to strip the bed or make it. Yes, some people like to make the bed. Some people like to strip the bed. I do not want my guests to do that. Just in case there are any stains, it is easier to see them on a made bed than a crumbled up sheets. I also let them know what to do with the trash and what to do with the passes and things like that. That's the email right before checkout, 24 hours before. I also provide this checkout information in the house manual. And then a couple of days after they leave, I send out a, hey, thank you for leaving the house. Great. If they do, and here's my review about you, or, I'm going to give you a 5-star review. Or if they don't leave the house perfectly, I don't send that email. Even though it's automated, what I do is I will stop it from going, which is the reason why I have it in the system to be set up and sent about 3 days after checkout. You have your thank you for booking, your arriving tomorrow, I hope you had a good night, and you're checking out, and my great reviews. Okay? So there's 5 emails. That's it. That's all you need to have an amazing communication with your guests. And yes, if my guests ask me questions, I do answer them. It's not like I'm not talking to them, but these are emails that are automated and sent out immediately. In Puerto Rico, I have an email in addition to this because it's information about COVID, because there's some restrictions that the government has wanted us to do and send out. And so I have that additional email. So now let me just show you how do you set this up on Airbnb and how do you set this up on iGMS. All right, let me show you how to set up on Airbnb automated messages. So you go to inbox and on the left side icons where you click and it's going to open up another menu. And in there, it's going to say all messages, Airbnb support, archives, quick replies, and schedule messages. you're going to click on schedule messages and it's going to open up another screen. It's going to say create a schedule message or learn best practices. What you're going to do is you're going to write a name for your message. So you're going to say before arrival. You're going to copy and paste the message that you pre-wrote or the template from the language of welcome. And you're going to paste it there. Now, there's some shortcodes that you need to include on your messages. And that's like guest first name or check-in date and check-in time. So you click on shortcodes and they're going to show you which ones you have access to. And what is going to happen is the message is going to grab that information from the reservation. So it's all automated and it just grabs the guest names and the check-in information that you want in that message. You select the listing that you want to use this for. You save it. And then you do the scheduling. So booking confirmed and the message will be sent once you have a booking. So it says message will be sent in the listing time zone. And then you write when to send it, immediately after, 5 minutes after, or when do you want to send, it's the scheduling of that message. And this is on the Airbnb site. It's very easy to use. So just do that. And you could just set up all of your automation on Airbnb if Airbnb is the only site that you use. But remember that you have limitations of what kind of messages to send your guests because you only have booking confirmed, check-in, and check-out. That's it. Nothing else. Now, you can also just have some setup without some quick replies, which I have there. Like, let's say you need verified ID. So I have that already set up on Airbnb. So like that, if I have a guest that is asking me to book and they're not verified, I have already a pre-written template in my quick replies. It's not automated, but it's a quick reply that I could send to them. So that's how you use Airbnb's system of automating messages. All right, so let me show you how to use iGMS, which is the site that I use for all my automation messages for Puerto Rico and for Georgia and for any listings that I'm going to do. You have to link your account to the iGMS platform and go to thehostingjourney.com/iGMS. Now, you link your account. And now what you do is you go to the house icon, which is basically your properties. And then what you do there is in general, it says message templates customize. And you customize the message templates that you have. And they're going to give you some messages already, where it's verified, inquiry, key pickup reminder and things like that. I do not use their templates. I use my own because I have created this set of templates because of the communication I have with my guests. I know what I want to say to the guests. And this is from years of experience. So it's very specific and there's wording and very specific messaging that I want to send them. For example, I remind them the number of people that they booked, because a lot of people come and get attached to their trips. So that is one of the reasons I use my own templates and my own messages. So now you go in there and you write new template and you give the template a name. You want to say available for which of the properties. You write the template content. And again, they also have short codes, which is like guest first name, check-in time, and things like that. Once you write the information, next to it, it says automation. And then you say yes. You want to send it before check-in. And they give you a lot of different options. Upon inquiry, upon confirmed reservation, upon cancellation, and things like that. So that's one of the reasons why I use iGMS, because the automation is more robust. All right. You set up your automation. And then when you go, it goes automatically to your guests. And that's it. That's all you have to do is set it up and it's done. And what I do with my listings is I set up all of this communication before I'm even up and running. So like that, I don't forget what I have to do. And if I have a booking or a booking request, everything is there already. And I'm not thinking like, oh my God, I forgot the automation. I forgot my emails. It's all set up beforehand. If you want to use my templates, the words I use with my guests, go to thehostingjourney.com/communication, and that will send you to where you could buy the templates and use them. And in there, I have more than just this for emails, because I have, if you guests ask for a discount, what to say. If you have any problems in your property, there's noise, or you have any issues, I have emails about that. I even have the emails I use with COVID, because just in case anything else happens again, you have the pre-written words that I've used. And this is words I've used through the years. Believe me, this is what I'm using with my guests right now. So that's thehostingjourney.com/communication. Now, remember, communication is key. Emails are the only way that you are communicating with your guests, unless you call them. But people don't really use the phone anymore. So they have to be very clear. You have to be precise and clear so that your guest has the right information without overwhelm, but also knows what to do. And let me know, what kind of communication do you feel has excelled and has worked for you? What tip do you have? And if you like this video, press like or get subscribed so you could get notified for more videos of the hosting journey. I will see you on the next one.